anything that would not be good for you. And you are the ultimate expert on what is or is not good for you. So let's start as usual, sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor on your zafu or cushion. If you're in a chair, we want your butt moved forward, your feet flat on the floor, lined up hip width apart, looking like the number 11. If you're on the floor, we'd like you to be cross-legged, lotus, half lotus, or kneeling if you like that. Once you get your lower body organized, let's roll the pelvis forward so our pubic bone is going down and we're sitting up straight. We're pulling our abs in, lifting our breastbone and asking our shoulder blades to slide down our backs. Let's close our eyes for a few seconds, check around internally and ask yourself, how am I today? How are my sinuses? How's my skin? How's my mood? Then opening our eyes, we can extend our arms, palms up, inhale up. Let's do a couple of fountain breaths. Good. Let that go. And let's say good morning to one of our shoulders. Take either arm and make the largest circle that your shoulder is capable of making, and then go backwards. If you have flat spots in your circle, just notice. Good, let that go. And the other shoulder gets the same treatment. Good morning, shoulder. Let's get those juices flowing. And we'll go backwards. Good, excellent. Give everything a wiggle. All right, just turn and look over your right shoulder. Come back to center and look over your left shoulder. And come back to center. Good. Let's push away our imaginary wall. Fan your hand out so it's as broad as you can make it. Really push, straighten those elbows. You can feel the effort right from the middle of your back. Make a nice little fist and point it at the floor. We're stretching the top of our wrist. Back to pushing away the wall. Then index finger to thumb and squeeze. Second, third, and fourth. Backwards. Fourth, third, second, and first. Good. Shake that off. Let that go. We're going to do a few piano scales. Say good morning to every little joint in our hands. Then turn your hands, palms up, and gently let them flop. This is a very easy little stretch for the inside of your wrist. Good. We'll let that go. Good. Alrighty. So today let's do a lion breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale and then exhale, sticking out our tongues, opening our eyes and our mouth and our nostrils. Everything opens up wide and we roar right from the gut. Then as we inhale, we squeeze our face down to the point of our nose, and then we roar again, and then we squeeze everything together again. So here we go. Take a huge intake. Good. Let's follow that up with exaggerated chewing. Your entire face gets into it. Chew on the left. Chew on the right. Make your chin go in a circle. Go backward. Pucker. And when you're ready, just let that all go. Take a nice deep breath and feel the stimulation in your face. It's a good feeling. All righty. So let's do our cat and cow stretches. We're going to say good morning to our entire spine. So as your head comes forward, your belly is going backwards and you're exhaling down. As you inhale, you're lifting your breastbone and looking up, and then you exhale down. And you go back and forth, repeating this at your own pace. Now you can keep doing that if you like, but if you're done, just let that go. Give everything a nice little wiggle, a little loosening motion. And let's stir the pot. So we pretend that our spine is a wooden spoon and our pelvis is a bowl. And we're making stirring motions with our wooden spoon in our bowl. And surprisingly enough, this is a very gentle hip opener. You can make the circle as large or small as you want, but be sure to go in both directions. And when you've had enough, come back to center. And we're going to open up the vertebra in the top of our neck using our nose as a little pointer. We're going to draw a figure 8 on its side using our nose. And listening to all the funny noises that our necks make. Stop and go backwards. And when you're ready, come back to center. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the rest of our neck, the center of our neck. So sit up nice and straight and tall. Make sure your breastbone is lifted. And as you sit there, allow your chin to begin to approach your chest, but don't let your chest collapse. We don't want this. We want to keep our chest up and just let our chin come low. When it stops moving, express patience and wait and breathe and begin to feel the trapezius muscle at the top and back of your shoulders as it slowly begins to open. You will be rewarded for your patience. When your chin has gone about as low as you think it's going to go, you can roll your ear to the right. So now your right ear is looking at your right shoulder. And you can feel the stretch beginning to happen over on your left side. And breathe encouragement into those muscles. And you're looking at the opposite wall, not the floor. And when you're ready, you can nod a little yes. And when you're ready, you can roll your head back to the middle and over to the left. So now your left ear is looking at your left shoulder. The right side of your neck is beginning to open, and you're looking at the wall opposite. Breathing into it. And when you're ready, you can nod a little yes. And when you're ready, you can roll your head back to the middle and over to the right. Back to the middle and over to the left. It's a slow and gentle movement. Check in with your breastbone. Make sure that it's still pointed upward. Don't let it slump. And when you've had about as much of that as you want to have, you just come back to center, take a deep breath, give everything a nice loosening wiggle, and let that go. Alrighty, so let's activate the muscles of our upper torso. Make your little hooks with your hands like this. Put them together with your elbows up and pull. It's a nice sustained pressure using the power of your arms to try and pull them apart and breathe. And you can feel the activation of those muscles of your upper torso. Relax that, let that go. Now we're going to do the opposing muscles. So either put your hands together in prayer position, or if you have wrist issues, put your your fists together and push. And you'll activate a different set of muscles that work in opposition. Just keep a nice sustained pressure. Good, let that go. Let's go back to our little hooks, put them together and pull. Keep breathing, make sure your chest is still lifted. Good, let that go. Back to the pushing position, either knuckles or wrists, palms. Pushing and breathing. Excellent, let that go. Give everything a nice little wiggle. Alrighty, so let's reach up to the sky as tall as you can be. Bend your right arm, let your hand rest on your back. Take your other hand and push your elbow any amount toward the ceiling and breathe. Good, bring that down, let that go. Bring your left arm up. Bend the elbow and let your hand rest on your back. Push your right hand so that your right hand is pushing your left elbow into position any amount. And release it. Let that go. Give everything a nice wiggle. All right, it's time for the seated spinal twist. If you're sitting in a chair, leave your lower body alone because it's exactly where it needs to be. If you're sitting on the floor, stretch out your legs, right leg over left, left arm to right knee. Everybody sit up straight and tall. Pivot to your right. Use your hands on the floor or the chair to help you with your pivot. And breathe. Make sure your chest is lifted. Engage your abs. They should be supporting your viscera. When you support your viscera using your abs, you're also supporting your back and lessening the amount of stress that bipedalism causes. So keeping a nice firm tummy is very important to your back health. Stretch back a tiny bit more and release it. Give everything a nice wiggle. All righty. So once again, if you're in a chair, leave your legs alone, they're fine. If you're on the floor, it's left leg over right, right arm to left leg. Everybody sit up straight and tall, pivot to your left, and breathe. This is a wonderful stretch for your back. It's excellent ab work for your abs as we wring out your viscera, forcing out the old fluid so that the new fluid can rush in to feed and cleanse your tissues. Twist back a tiny bit more and release it. Come back to center. Take a nice deep breath, give everything a nice wiggle. So the frog is next. I like doing the frog from the chair, so that's what I'm going to do. But you can do the frog standing, sitting on the floor, or the chair, whichever makes you happy. So to sit on the front of the chair, I'm really quite a distance away. Actually, let me do this. I don't think I've done the frog sideways. Let's try that. So I'm quite a bit from the back of the chair, and I've spread my knees comfortably wide, and I'm resting my hands on my knees. Now, we're going to go down, but we're not going to go down like a limp noodle. We're going to keep our chest up, our head up, so that we have a nice flat back. Notice that I'm keeping my back nice and flat, even though I'm leaning forward. This causes the stretch to come out of my hip joints rather than my back. And it's my hips that I really want to open at this point. So when I get down to about here, my hips are saying, whoa, what's going on? This feels pretty unusual. I don't know that we want to do this. So I pause, I breathe encouragement into those big joints. And now, because I'm fairly close to the floor, I can test myself. Yep, I can get my palms down on the floor. And you can too, if you can. However, if you can only get your fingers down like this, that's not really safe. So you are better off keeping your hands on your knees. And you can do a very nice frog keeping your hands on your knees. Breathe encouragement into your hip joints. Feel them as they begin to open. And when you're ready to come out of it, simply make sure both hands are on your knees and sit up. There you go. Let's stand up. So as we usually do, we're going to start by standing in Tadasana. Tadasana is when we put our feet into the number 11. Usually when we stand like this. And this is what we look like. Our toes are apart, our heels are together, our chest is slumped, and our belly is protruding, and our head is forward of our neck. Not a very pretty picture. However, if I put my feet hip width apart, lined up looking like the number 11, I can feel the floor. I can feel whether I'm properly balanced on my feet. I can pull myself up through my legs, pull myself up all the way to my pelvis and tuck my pelvis a little bit and really pull my abs in and up, lifting my breastbone, asking my shoulder blades to slide down my back and balancing my head on my neck. This is Tadasana. This is how we defy gravity and help get ourselves into such a good alignment that is, we take the strain off our backs, strengthen our bellies, and we're ready to face the world. Let's bring our hands out into the space in front of us, interlace our fingers, notice which finger is on top, reverse your palms, stretch up tall, bring your hands behind your back, send them as low as they'll go, and lift into chest expansion. Feel the lovely stretch in your chest. Breathe. Let that go. All right, bring your arms out again. This time when you interlace, make sure it's the other finger on top. Reverse your palms, stretch up tall, bring your hands behind your back, interlace the other way, lift, and breathe. This is chest expansion. Good. We'll let that go. We'll shake out our legs. Take a deep breath. All righty. So let's do Warrior One as our power position today. So we're going to need our chair. You can use a chair, your kitchen counter, whatever is helpful. But you're going to let your left hand rest on your chair. Now there's a left lane and a right lane on your mat. Make sure that your left foot stays in the left lane and vice versa. Okay. Step forward as much as you want and line up your left knee over your left ankle and your right leg is straight behind you. I don't need this stuff in my pocket, do I? All right. So now, if I put my hands on my hips, I notice that my hips are looking over there. And I want them to look in the same direction as my left toes. So I bring my hips to face. Now I'm ready. I'm vertical and I'm ready to do something with my arms. You can leave them where they are. You can put them into prayer position, into goddess arms, yoga mudra arms, or palms facing. Whichever is best for you works well. And breathe. While you're standing here, you check around inside your body. You say to yourself, have my shoulders crept up to my ears? I should roll them down. Is my tummy sagging? I should firm it up, etc., etc. Just check around, see if there's anything that you want to improve or notice while you keep breathing. And when you have done this as long as you want to do it, you bring your arms down, step forward, shake out your legs. Take a deep breath. Okay, so now we're going to do it on the other side. So now I've organized myself so that my chair is on my right. I'm going to step forward with my right foot as much or as little as I want to do it. I've got my right knee lined up over my right ankle, and my left leg is straight. And my hips are looking over there. So I'm going to bring my hips back to face my same direction as my toes, my right toes. I'm going to stand up nice and straight and vertical. And now I can decide what to do with my arms. You can choose any position you want. And remember that if you choose an arm raised position and your arms get tired, instead of just going like this, you can change the position to get to something more comfortable. Nowhere is it written that yoga has to hurt or make you crazy. Breathe into the posture, check around in your body and see if there's anything that you'd like to improve. Feel the power of your legs. When you've been here as long as you'd like to be here, bring your arms down, step forward, and shake out your legs. Ooh, that feels good. Give everything a nice wiggle to loosen things up. Good. What would we like to do next? I think an inversion would be a good thing. Unless, of course, you have glaucoma or high blood pressure. Don't want to do an inversion for that. Because an inversion is where we try and get our head below our heart. As close to that as we can arrange. So once again, our feet are back into Dasana, lined up like the number 11, hip width apart. We're going to go down with a swan dive. So we'll have a flat back going down until we're parallel to the floor, and then we'll release. All right, here we go. Inhale up. Stretch and release. Check in with your neck. If your top of your head is not facing the floor, your neck is trying to hold up your head. Ask it to relax. Breathe comfort into all those muscles that are stretching, and you'll notice that you're going a little bit lower. And even if it's only a single millimeter, that's fine. It's a stretch. Then you can stretch around to the right, grab hold of whatever you find over there, and keep breathing. But notice how the stretch is different over here. Check in with your neck again. Come back to center, stretch to the left, take hold of whatever you find over there. Keep breathing. And once again, the feeling of the stretch has changed. When you're ready, come back to center, put your hands on your thighs, come up to a flat back, and stand up. And there we are. Shake out your legs. Take a deep breath. All righty. So let's work on our abductors and adductors for a minute. We need a chair for that. So I'm going to stand here with my left hand on my chair. I'm going to stand up straight and tall. I'm going to pick up my right leg. I'm crossing it in front of my left leg. And then I'm bringing it out to the side and crossing it behind my left leg, out to the side and back to starting position. And you simply repeat this motion. The challenge to this motion is to make sure that your right toes are always facing forward. If you have them turn out to the right, you're exercising the wrong muscle. The muscle we really want to get to is this one. And it only works if our toes are facing forward. Good. And you can relax that, shake out the standing leg, and then rearrange yourself so that your chair is on your right with your right hand on the chair. Now we're ready to work on the left. So the left foot comes in front of your right leg, out to the left, behind your right leg, out to the left, and so on. It's exactly like it was on the other side. Amazing. And once again, don't let those toes wander off to the left. You want to make sure they're facing forward. And you're breathing all the while. It sounds silly to keep reminding you to breathe, but habitually, most of us tend to hold our breath when we're working and concentrating, which is not healthy. So, hence the constant reminders. And put that foot down, shake out the standing leg and the other leg. Take a deep breath. Good. Roll your shoulders. Good. All righty. So let's see. Let's do the up and down. All righty. So we're going to use our chair again as our handy prop. And we're going to start sitting down on the front edge of the chair. Don't sit way back here because that makes this way more difficult. So it's a lot easier at the front end of the chair. The other thing that will make it easier is to spread your feet a bit farther. And if you'd like, you can also bring your feet back a bit, okay? All of this argues for sitting on the front edge of your chair. So wherever your feet are going to be comfortable, simply fold your arms and stand up. And then sit down. And then stand up. And sit down. And you're just going back and forth because this is exercising the great big gluteus maximus muscle on your butt and the quadriceps on the front of your thighs. These two muscles work in opposition to each other to make this possible. And this is a very important part of being independent. This is something that we don't want to lose just because we're getting older. Good. So when you've had enough of that, just stand up, shake out your legs, take a deep breath. Good. All right. So we need to do something nice for our arms. So we're going to do the eagle. So put yourself back into Tadasana so you have a nice firm platform. And let's let our arms swing. Now remember, if your palms don't come together easily, you can certainly put your hands on your opposing shoulders. But if you can, one elbow under the other, wrap your lower arms around each other to bring your palms together. And feel the trapezius muscle cross your back as it begins to open. If you want, you can raise your elbows a bit. Keep breathing. And you can push your hands away from your face a bit. Feel how this changes the stretch. And breathe. When you're ready, unpretzel. Let your arms swing a bit because we're going to do the other side. Now, sometimes you can do it on one side, you can't do it on the other. Don't worry about that. That's normal. We are asymmetrical. But if you can, let's do it. And again, if you can raise your elbows, you can. Breathe into the stretch and feel how it feels different over here. It's probably significantly easier because we've already achieved a lot on the other side. Push your hands away from your face a bit. Keep breathing. ever had enough, just unpretzel. Let your arms swing a bit. Feels good. And shake out your legs. Okay. All right, so let's do one nice thing for our feet. Stick a foot out, rotate that knee over that foot, lean into it as much or as little as you want, and feel the nice massage on the bottom of your foot. Go backward. Good. Shake that one out. Stick out the other foot and rotate that knee. Go backwards. Excellent. Let that go. Shake out those legs. Let them know it's over. Wiggle your shoulders. Let them know it's over, because it's over. We're about to get down on the floor. So I want to say farewell to all of you who are not going to get down on the floor. I will be back same time, same station, Monday morning. So I hope you have a terrific weekend. Namaste. All right, floor folks, let's see what we want to do today. I think we're going to start today in tabletop. Ooey. Sorry about that. I hope that helps. Okay, so here we are in tabletop. Our knees are hip width apart. Our hands are shoulder width apart. And we'll do a few cat and cow stretches. Then come back to neutral, hips to the right, head to the right, hips to the left, head to the left. And we're wagging our tail, going back and forth. And then come back to center. Good. So we're going to take our right bent knee to the right to hip height and down. Left knee to the left, hip height and down. Back to the right and back to the left. Good. So let's curl our toes under and push back into downward facing dog. And you can wiggle your feet to adjust them to a proper distance for your body. Make sure once you get up there that you push your chest as close to your knees as you can get it. That is a good downward facing dog. Breathe into it. Keep your elbows straight. You're building power in your shoulders. If you want, you can bend one knee and then the other in that sort of walking motion, but you don't have to. And you just stay there as long as you want to stay there. When you've had enough, to come out of it, you simply touch your knees down, knees apart, big toes together, forehead on the floor with your hands back by your feet. Unless, if your butt is nowhere near your feet, you might be much more comfortable if you stack one fist on top of the other and rest your forehead on your fists. It's up to you. Similarly, if you have sinus issues, if you have knee issues or surgery or whatever, you might be happier rolling over onto your back and pulling your knees up onto your chest. They are both excellent resting positions that allow your back to relax and recover. So now we're going to do a sequence to strengthen our backs. So come down onto the floor, lay down on your abdomen, open up your hands, and stack one open palm on the other, and rest your forehead on your palms. Now I'm going to keep my head up just for the sake of the microphone. But what you want to do is try and get your upper chest as close to the floor as possible, which means that you have to convince your shoulders to let go. And many, many shoulders are very resistant to this idea. So be patient with them, but give them the encouragement they need. And then pick up your right straight leg, pull it out, put it down. Pick up your left straight leg, pull it out, put it down. Bend your right knee, pick it up, put it down. Bend your left knee, pick it up, put it down. Good. Bend both knees together and wave your knees, wave your feet left and right. Then open your feet apart, bring them together so that one crosses in front. And each time you do it, make sure the other foot is in front. And then you can put both feet back on the floor. Good. All right, so rest your chin on the floor, stretch your arms out left and right, and bend your elbows. Good. So now keep your right elbow on the floor and lift your lower arm and hand on the right. Put it down. Keep your left elbow on the floor and lift your lower arm and hand. Back to the right. Back to the left. Back to the right. And back to the left. Good. Now stretch your arms straight out in front of you and keep your chin on the floor. I'm not going to do it for the microphone hoo-ha. Okay, so this time we're going to pick up our entire right straight arm, put it down. Entire left straight arm, put it down. Going in a circle, our left leg, our right leg. This time, both arms together. And down. Then both legs together. And down. This time, everything lifts. Head, arms, legs, the works. It is the boat. And breathe. Come down whenever you're ready. Bring your hands back under your shoulders and bring yourself up to a low cobra. If you want, you can take your hands off the floor to prove that you're using your back muscles. And if you'd like, you can push back into a high cobra. But this is a significant back bend, and it's not necessary. When you're ready, push back into tabletop. And this time, to rest our backs, we're going to roll over onto our back and pull our knees up onto our chest. Just like this. Give them a hug. Take a couple of nice deep breaths and feel how lovely it is to rest your back in this position. Then bring your hands down to the floor, keeping your knees together. Draw a circle on the ceiling with your knees. and feel the lovely massage that this gives to your lower back. Go backwards. Then bring your knees together again. This time, you're going to draw separate circles. Each knee is going in its own direction. They're coming apart, they're coming together. Coming apart, coming together. And go backwards. They're still coming apart and going together, but each knee is going in the opposite direction that it was before. Good. Come back to center, take a breath. And then straighten both legs to the ceiling, just like this. Now keep your feet together, pull your abs in strongly, and draw a small circle on the ceiling with both feet together. Go backwards. Good. Separate your feet. Bring your arms through your legs. Head lift is optional. You don't need to do this, but if you can, you can. And breathe. Head down, arms down, legs together, bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath. Ah, that feels really nice. It's great ab work. Okay, so what do we want to do next? I think that we need a nice hip opener. So let's do the pigeon. Put your right ankle on your left knee, your right hand on your right knee, push it away, let it rebound. Push it away, etc. Now take your right hand in between your thighs, left hand outside your left thigh. Leave your right leg alone, pick up your left leg, interlace your hands behind your left thigh, and there you are. That's the half pigeon. Now, you should be feeling a huge stretch in your gluteus maximus on the right. You can try out these little variations to find the best possible place to be. You can pull your thigh closer. You can roll a little bit to your left. You can extend your left leg to the ceiling. You can even point and flex your 2 feet and see if any of that makes you feel better. If it does, pick the variation that you like best and go for it. Breathing into your gluteus maximus as it begins to open. It's the biggest single muscle in your body. When you're ready to come out of it, you may. If you'd like to stay longer, you may. It's your yoga practice, so you get to modify it in whatever way is best for you. So now we're going to put our left ankle on right knee, left hand on left knee, push it away, etc. Now, I always advocate for letting it go, but if a sustained pressure makes you happier, just use a sustained pressure. Now, left hand goes between your thighs, right hand outside your right thigh. Pick up your right thigh, interlace your hands behind it, and there you are, the half pigeon. Feel the gluteus maximus on your left as it begins to open. And again, you can try out any of or all of the motions that will help you intensify that stretch, such as pulling your thigh closer, rolling a wee bit to your right, or extending your right leg to the ceiling. And you can certainly try the pointing and flexing of your feet. Choose the variation that makes you happiest and breathe into it. When you're ready to come out of it, and stay longer if you'd like, release your hands, let your right foot come to the floor, and let your left foot come to the floor. All righty. So let's see. Let's do a side stretch. So when you're ready, roll to one side to come up to a seated position. We're going to do the gait. So we're going to come up onto our knees. And we're going to take one of our legs, let's say the left leg, out to the left. So it's nice and straight, and the toes are pointing forward the same way my face is looking. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to place it palm up on my left leg. I'm going to bring my right arm straight up to the ceiling. And as I begin to lean to the left, my left hand creeps down my leg. And there I am. And I am breathing. I'm feeling a huge stretch up and down the right side of my body. And I'm still looking at the wall opposite. I am not looking at the floor. When I'm ready to come out of it, I simply reverse. Now I'm going to put my hands or my fists on the floor so I can bend my left knee rather. And then I'm going to bring my right leg out to the right. Again, the toes are facing the same direction I'm looking. I'm going to take my right hand, palm up on my leg, bring my left arm up, and I'm leaning to my right and breathing into the stretch. Once again, I'm looking at the wall opposite. I am not looking at the floor. And I'm feeling this huge stretch up and down my left side. Stay as long as you like, but if this is long enough, return to vertical, bring your hands down to the floor, bend your right knee, and there you are. Good. All right. So I think this would be a good time to do the bridge, which is an excellent all-round exercise. So once again, we're going to go down onto our backs. This time we're going to bend both knees and bring our heels as close to our butt as possible. Then your arms come along your sides, and if you roll your hips left and right a little bit, you can sort of tuck your arms underneath your hips. Once you're here, you can do a little pelvic tilt and then put it down. And then another one and put it down. But each time you do the little pelvic tilt, you go a little bit higher. Finally, you're all the way up onto your shoulders. If you want, you can move your feet in a bit. Roll your shoulders under you a bit so you can bring your hands together and interlace your hands. And there you are. If you can, you want to get your wrists as close to the floor as possible, which does not happen for me unless I really work at it. And that's only a temporary thing. But our goal here is to keep our hips as close to the ceiling as we possibly can. Feel the quadriceps work and breathe. Now, if you want, you can pump your hips a few times. You can pump one and then the other, that sort of thing. But that's just for entertainment's sake. You don't have to do any of that. When you're ready to come out of it, and stay longer if you want, bring your arms around behind you until they're overhead, And then slowly lower your vertebra one at a time to the floor. When your butt comes down, you're done. Pull your knees up onto your chest. Take a few breaths. And let that work and effort go. Now, just in case some necks think that they have to do the bridge and they don't, put your feet on the floor and slowly wave your knees left and right. As your knees go to the right, roll your head to the left. As your knees go to the left, roll your head to the right, etc. It's a slow and gentle motion designed to help your neck give up its need for control. When you're ready, come back to center, reach down and pull one foot up with your hand in the instep. Then reach down with your other hand, put it in the instep of the other foot. Then bring both feet up to the ceiling so they're planted on the ceiling and you're pulling your knees into your armpits. This is happy baby. And breathe. Now, right now, you have a number of muscles that are working, but the only ones you need to have working are the ones in your arms. See if you can relax your effort 10% without coming out of the posture. As usual, you can stay as long as you like. I'm ready to come out of it, so I'm releasing my feet and allowing them to come back down onto the floor. Good. Alrighty, so I think it's time for deep relaxation. So it's time to put on socks, blankets, cushions, whatever you might need to be comfortable and warm for the next few minutes. Remember, you can use the dead man pose, which is laying on your back with your legs about 14 inches apart, each hand about 14 inches from your side, and just melt. You can also move your feet out to the width of your mat, and then tilt your two knees towards each other. They will rest against each other without any muscles to hold them up. So this is also a very relaxing way. It's very comfortable for a lower back that's feeling crabby. Whatever you do, make sure you're comfortable, and then close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. So now it's time to wiggle your fingers and toes, make any loosening movements that will help you feel good and return to normal consciousness before you roll to one side to come up to a seated position. So we'll sit up straight and tall, we'll put our hands in prayer position, and we'll close our eyes, lower our heads, and give thanks for this day. And lifting our heads and opening our eyes, we can say to one another, Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the little rain showers that bring the flowers. I'll see you Monday morning, 10 a.m.